Welcome back to the From the Ground Up podcast. This is a podcast for Dow Smith Company employees, clients, and friends. Dow Smith Company is a design builder here in gloomy Smyrna, Tennessee. Cloudy.
Windy.
First day of spring, but still cloudy, Smyrna, Tennessee. We design and build commercial facilities, medical facilities, and churches. And today we have two very special guests because we have the two people who have been with Dow Smith Company the longest, one of which is the Dow Smith, and the other is Steve Williams, who as of this month has been here for 25 years. So congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
I'm hoping that this is going to be an episode where I just get to put my feet up and listen to Dow and Steve talk a lot. But just to get us started, if you could just take us back 25 years to what that the process was like, first getting hired here, and what those first few weeks were like on the job.
And what was your first memory?
My first memory was, my late uncle Gary. He just he called me one day and just said, "Hey, I just we're starting a job over here," and I guess he had his brother, my other uncle, Stacy, had been working, maybe a week or so, but I guess he didn't make it. So he said
Stacy didn't make it.
So he needed some help, and he said, "Man, if I wasn't doing anything, they need he could probably give me a job for a few weeks or something." And I said, "Well, yeah, I'll go try it." I wasn't doing nothing, so yeah, I showed up. They told me to go take a drug test, bring the paperwork in, and it's basically I just started out on a job. I think we was doing a renovation on the police department by the square, the locker room and all that.
Okay, that was Hargrove. Yeah, you talking about downtown Murfreesboro?
Yeah, I think we was doing something there.
Where the radio, or next to the radio station. Yep.
We was also doing, I think we were still doing some finishes on the bowling alley, like a couple of things after it was already done. We were still going back
All right.
a couple things.
So what year is 25 years ago?
2000.
The first full job I remember was the Smyrna Fire Department.
Yep.
And it was, I forgot the superintendent, the younger guy,
Oh, I know.
I forgot his name.
His name was Chris Burns.
Chris Burns, there you go. Yeah, I remember. And I remember just showing up and him telling me that, I don't know if he was going to check other jobs and stuff, but I wasn't a construction guy. I've helped my dad do a little concrete, but he was saying the Smyrna Fire Department, to me, it was a big job. It was a whole job, and he just kind of left me there and say, make sure everybody's, don't get in a fight, and make sure that it stays cleaned up, and that's basically it. So I remember for the first few weeks, he would give me couple little jobs to do, like some blocking here and there.
That's Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. What subs you remember? You remember any of those subs that were there?
Remember, did Art?
Art White, the electrician. Yeah.
Honeycutt.
All right. Honeycutt. Yeah.
I remember Honeycutt's son being up on the lift and putting a screw through his finger and about to pass out and couldn't come down the lift.
Oh, man.
I remember that, but
And that was a job that had steel metal, light gauge metal roof trusses.
I remember. You probably remember too all the extra concrete in the back.
Yep.
And we had to stay I think we started early and helping them. We had to start helping them tie wire, and I remember I'll bring some lights and some food, and we was out there till 10 o'clock at night, and then turn around and like I said, I'd go home and be back at 5 o'clock the next day to pour concrete, and it was just, there was a couple of days there that was some long days. And
where were you living then, Steve?
I've been living in the same place the whole the whole time.
Which is where?
20 Pascal Circle, right off the Alexandria exit.
Yeah.
And I built a place like right next to my dad's house, and that's where I've been the whole time. And I used to ride motorcycles and all that, so I just kind of had like a free range over there. And I guess it was just work and then play. That was it. Until I got married in 2016, and then, like I said, after that it was more family oriented. A lot of extra stuff.
So you got married in 2016?
It was the last day it was New Year's Eve, 2016.
Darnfoot, you're about to hit your 10-year anniversary. That seemed like that was just a couple, 3 years ago.
Yeah. And like I said, it's getting a lot better. I mean, I think we both took a while for us both. We're both hard-headed, and it kind of took us a while to figure each other out.
Yeah.
Now it's seems like smooth sailing.
Which project over 25 years gives you the most memories, whether good or bad? And probably, I'll just leave it at that. When you think of projects that had the most wildest adventure or memories, what job stands out?
I remember you being excited about getting to do, and it's when Mitchell was working with us, and we was, I think we was doing the blocking over at Title Boxing.
Okay.
And this is not me. I think this is more like I seen. To me, it's just work. Every day is just work. But
Yeah.
I like to when stuff happens. I like to get in. It makes me remember a lot of stuff. But I remember you coming in and getting on the lift and going up there, and I remember you just saying, "Man, I want to do a 3-story building."
That's right.
I want to do a 3-story building.
Yep.
And so that seemed like, and then we got the hospital and everything, and it was like, well, he got it. And I remember sitting in your house with, I forgot what it was, but he was the I don't know, he was one of your friends telling us like about when we was talking about like having the backhoe and all that, and like what we should get away from and whether we should rent. And
Was it Dewey Green? Is that who you're thinking of?
That sounds about right.
When we were having kind of a planning session?
Yeah, I mean, it was like 7 or 8 of us sitting in your living room.
Yep.
And like I said, I've took a couple things that he said. Like I like the thing like, well, if you're going to do something, like you ask somebody like, well, when you want to start? Well, why can't you start earlier today? You know, it just that always clicked in my head. And I guess I think of another job that's stuck out. I know jobs that we've had certain superintendents makes it a lot easier. I mean,
What superintendents do you remember?
my favorite, I got three people that since I've been working here 25 years that's made, I guess, an impact on like the way I think.
Yeah.
And I guess I guess you don't see me interacting with them a lot and everything, but it was like I like Mr. Webb. You know, he's
Who?
Mr. Webb, Bob,
Oh, yeah.
and the late Jerry Davis.
Yeah.
They meant a lot. And,
Yeah.
and then of course you don't see many men that you can't dig in or find something bad about. You know, like just not bad, but just not being a good person. And I think those 3 right there are some
Wow.
pretty good ones.
Who's Bob Webb, Jerry Davis, and what was the third? Oh, and
And I've seen Joey come a long way, and Joey is right there too. He's came a long way.
We all have, Steve. We all have, and Steve's crying right now, by the way. Y'all can't see it, and I like it. I like when people cry. Well,
But before you tell me more about your relationship with Dow.
Well, that's like Bob and Jerry. I got to interact with them a lot, and when I started working here, people tell me that when you start working here, you go see Dow. This. I never did that. I just started working, and I think I worked here 15 years, and all I've said was like, So we've never really talked, but I hear everything and everything people say, like all the subs and owners and all this kind of stuff. And like I said, he's just, when you hear just good things all the time, it makes you it's just, you know what it is, so it's, I guess, and like I said, those three, there's a bunch more, but they don't stack up to those three right there.
Well, I'm honored to be on that list, but it's amazing how much we've all changed and grown and developed. When we think back, so year 2000, I very much remember the Smyrna Fire Department project. Very much remember Art Wide. He was an electrician. Let's move on now. Just what other projects, what other memories do you have that, as you reflect your last 25 years being here? Or maybe more important, what people? Like when I think projects, I kind of, to me, think of people.
Yeah. I like working with Joel, like all his projects. Joel, like I said, he's a worker. He likes to get in there, and he gets excited every once in a while. But like I said, he's one of them. He wants to get it right and do everything. Subs, like I said, Jerry was one of the good ones.
We got to take a few moments in this and talk about Gary Grissom. We started with Gary. He brought you here. He's your uncle. Gary also means a lot to me. I'll get with that in a little bit. What's your thoughts on Gary Grissom?
Well, he made me who I am today, and I guess I hate to say it, but I never had a dad, so I guess being I didn't have a father figure, but it was I guess that's what it was, a father figure that I didn't have, and it was rough sometimes. But
he was hard on you more than once.
But I think I'm good at like understanding that he's under a lot of stress, and so I didn't take it personal. So I think he got me to look at all the little things, like little minute things that people wouldn't usually see. So like, I would try to get done, and he asked me, are you done? And he'd come through and pick it apart. And then when I was younger, I would look at it like he's crazy. He's just going overboard and everything. But then it started making me pick up on all the little things. So it kind of made me who I am today, like precise. I need to
precise.
It has to be right, or tear it down and do it again.
You are our door specialist. Anything that comes with doors, that's where Big Steve excels at. When did you discover your gift for doors and hardware?
Well, I think when I started, it was when I first started, it was just the bathroom partitions we did. They just. Okay. I've never done them. They just said, we got to put these up.
Go figure it
read-
out.
read the
Yeah, here's the
instructions
instructions, and there they are.
Yeah, so I was, and I swear the thing about 25 years is I can remember that day taking 30 minutes to put 2 panels up because you got to like figure it all out. And now you can look at the instructions and just basically say, well, I know this, and you can basically do it without instructions. And it's, like I said, over the 25 years, it's just those subs and learning all the little tricks, and just it all comes together, and it just makes everything so much easier. So now I see our guys out there and they're doing stuff, and okay, let me show you this. This is where we're trying to get to, and there's an easier way. And so, and it's, I guess it's like teaching a kid, and they start walking or something. When you teach them something, they're like, man, I've been doing it the hard way the whole time. So yeah, it's nice to open people's eyes. And
You like teaching, don't you?
oh yeah, I think I like teaching because I never thought I did, but I think the way Gary taught me, I didn't like it.
Right. You
Yeah.
correct.
So I try to look at somebody as if, like I said, it's a blank slate. They don't know anything.
Okay.
So then you gotta take that and build them from that. And sometimes we get people that do things the wrong way, and you gotta say, okay, scratch all that and forget all that. And you gotta go. You know, I mean, basically it's like I guess raising a kid. Like I said,
Yeah.
you gotta shape them and
Yeah.
guide them, and it feels good when you can see them doing it on their own.
You've done that
Yeah.
many
Yeah,
a
you're-
times.
Your early instruction about don't get in a fight and keep the job site clean.
Well, that's
As,
all I knew, so like it was easy.
Yeah, but how I would imagine your advice and your teaching to some of our younger guys is a little more detailed than just don't get in a fight and keep the job site clean.
Oh yeah. Well, it made it like a lot of times I'm more the old school. So like we're working. Let's get the work done. We don't need to. I like to have fun while you work. Like there's certain people like I could be with, say, Cody when he first started. We could be working and we could be talking and playing around the whole time, but we're getting work done, and we're and it makes the day faster and easier and but there's some people that they can't do stuff while they're
Yeah.
communicating, and it irritates me. And everybody remembers Moss. that was yeah, it was just
It's a different experience with him.
Well, then there's some people like I'd love for you to talk a little bit about Bardo, because I've seen you guys walk right in and not even hardly say a word to each other and just get straight to work, and y'all work. Yeah, it's almost like you work together so long you don't even have to talk.
I guess I could give my analogy with that is like saying you have professional athletes. This guy gets traded from this one, then jumps right into here. He already knows what to do. I mean, it's not like you got to start all over. You just jump in, and everybody knows what they're doing already. And so that's Bardo.
He's that much of a pro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it takes. Now, I'll tell you that Trace,
Yeah.
he's real. I don't see many of them, but it's.
He's bashful, isn't
He's got good common sense.
he? Yeah, he does.
He can see something, you can tell him, and he gets it, and I haven't seen that in a long time.
I ain't never seen it.
And but he wants to do the right thing,
Yeah.
and like I said, he don't complain. And that's hard to find.
Yeah.
So,
Foot, we've changed a lot over 25 years, and I would like to think we've changed for the better. What moment or moments when you reflect, when you realized, wow, really improved, or we've really grown, and we've really changed for the better? You got any moments like that?
Well, I do remember, like I said, the day we was in your living room talking about where we're going. I remember you saying we're, 5 million or something,
Right.
and we want to be 15.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm the type I don't really like change, as change, and that kind of I'm thinking that's big.
Yep.
And I guess you're the type of person you are because you think that way. I'm gonna go there. I think I'm more cautious. I like to sit back and say, man, I thought we'll hire some. I remember, some of the slow times and people saying, hey man, we're not doing too good.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, well, yeah, multiply that by another 10 people or something, and budget here and there, and the bad times gonna be real bad.
Yeah.
And so that's the way I looked at it, and I was nervous, but like I said, you got when you got a good leader, you can it's pretty easy to go ahead and just follow them. So, and I think it grew, and it did make things easier, and I like some of the stuff we do, and the accountability and all that makes it. I mean, it's kind of like it's like paint by numbers. It makes it that easy. You just here it is.
There it is.
And so, like I said, there's really no people ask me questions, and it's right here. It's everything, and there's, like I said, you gotta look at things like this is your position, this is where you're at, and like I said, everything's laid out for you, so it should be, like I said, simple. And
I tend to think, if you have a different experience, I want you to say so, but I do feel like we have simplified things. I almost feel like today it's easier for me to do my job than it was that time, because where Steve's referring to, we had about 7 or 8 of us. This was probably 5 years before EOS, so this is 2015-ish. And so that was 6 or 7, 8 of us all gathered in my living room, and Dewey Green came and convened, and we just had a day of whiteboard talk, so to say, without a whiteboard. And just think how much now when we have those gatherings, how much more structured they are, and they're simpler, and we get so much more done. And so I say that just from my perspective, it's many more moving parts, but because of that accountability chart, I know what's in my box and I know what's in your box, and it's just a matter of us trusting each other. You do what's in your box and I do what's in my box, and it works out.
okay. Well, before that, before the EOS and everything, I mean, I thought it was just business, these things happen, but people would step on other people's stuff, and you'd hear about it, and it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, but nothing happens about it, and it keeps on happening. So then I noticed, like, after that EOS, and I give it a little while, and people start, okay, it simplified everything, and I didn't see as much as that. It helped out a lot, and I would say, yeah, I mean, none of that would happen if you didn't have great people working here.
Yeah.
So one thing I always tell people is, like, working here, I don't hear everybody says, man, I wish I could get me a job over there. I wish I could do this and that, and they're always talking bad about their company. They're like, man, they don't do this for us, and they don't do that, and it just, I said, man, it just would make you feel horrible working like that.
Yeah.
And but I guess you gotta have a certain attitude to work here. Well, we don't want negativity coming in.
We really don't.
So yeah, it's people. We've got a team.
So, Steve, looking ahead, what are your hopes and dreams these next few years before us? And that could be either personally or us as a company.
Here is, I don't know, I haven't ever talked to you about it. I think I've mentioned it to Trey a couple times and maybe Joey, but some people say, well, don't you want to be a superintendent or you want to do this? And I tell them, like, I'll do whatever it takes to wherever I'm needed. But I think where I'm at is like where the company gets the most bang for the buck.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm happy at. And I could do any other thing too. I mean, I could do it. But like I said, if I was looking at it, not from my perspective, but like from yours, like here's my company, where the people fit the best. I think I'm the one that, like I said, I like when somebody sees a problem and they're trying to think how to fix it. And I wish they would just say, "Look, here's our problem. Fix it. Let me just do it." And so that's my attitude. And so it makes me feel good if other people can't come up with a plan and just let me do it. And it's because I've put all that 25 years into my little, like Cody says, my little black book. and I've been through it before, so it's easy. And I guess, back to what you were saying about the future, I would say one thing that gets in my mind is everybody's like, you want to go forward, you want to be better and all this, and I feel like I'm old and I want to slow down.
Okay.
And, I don't want to, but I know it's coming, and I just can't. I don't know. I don't think I can maintain what I do, like I said, for another 20 years, and
Well, Foot, we've had some great times, and those great times are, why would they not, what would be the reasons they not continue?
well, I don't want to end up like some of the guys that like Gary. I know he mentioned a lot about being able to retire and take a vacation and this and that. But everybody always works till they die.
Till they die.
And I would just like to enjoy life a little more.
So you foresee yourself having a retirement life? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
No, not in that sense. Me and my wife have talked about she would be vested in her job, like in another. I think she's got like 6-7 years, and she'll be vested. And she always mentions about we would like to move back to Arizona and retire.
I don't like that.
But I told her that I ain't going nowhere because it's just. We really can't. It's just like sitting there, just whatever. But it looks good, but on paper it don't work.
Right.
So and the more she's got, the more she's been here, the more she likes. Well, I could just stay here. I don't have to go back there. But everything's changed so much. It's not the same anyway. And so mine would. And like I said, we've brainstormed a little bit, like if what if we did go out there and everything. And I was like, I'd like to retire, but my retirement would be, I didn't know I had stress until I met my wife. And then I started thinking what stress was, and I think, well, at work, I guess I do have stress. I think about all this stuff all the time. And I guess like I said, we brainstormed about moving out there, and my retirement would be like, hey, I'm gonna go work at Lowe's. I mean, I can sit there and just, I see the people that work there. I mean, I could do that and just, hey, here and help people and not really have to be the old guy at Lowe's. It just
Right.
helps everybody.
Right.
And that would be, I don't know how much money you make or whatever, but I mean, that would be a retirement for me, just to do that and go golf and enjoy everything. But the other thing that gets me is I don't want to quit what I'm doing because I love it.
Well, Foot, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I have a high degree of certainty it's going to be something that fits your needs and capacity and still gives great value to DSC. And
I can picture if I was retired and moved off somewhere. I mean, I couldn't help but, hey, y'all doing all right? Does anybody need anything? And it's
well,
I just need to. But like I said, this is like my family, and
well, you and I are going to have some more discussion on that one-on-one, not on a podcast, but I want to, I see a path where that's going to work out. I do, Steve, and we'll figure that out together.
well, like I said, I think I've told Trey, but I like hands-on. I like to do it, but like I said, I can't be out with a shovel all day.
I know.
So
I know. That's why I see teaching and training as what you are doing and will continue to do, but even more of that. So we're going to find that.
And like I said, I'd feel good if we had like like what I like lately is Alan.
Yeah.
He's smart. He knows how to do a lot of things, and that's great. I remember when we first hired Zach, and got to work with him a little bit. Now, I mean, him and Cody were about the same. I was like, they're good guys. They like to joke around, but they get work done. And they, like I said, we usually have guys that say they know how to do stuff, but man, get a broom and go sweep, and just try to keep them busy. And you teach them something, but you can't leave them because you're gonna come back and it's gonna, you're gonna have to redo what they done. And so it's great having good people, like I said, like Alan and man at the Carplex. I remember being out there, and I think Philip was out there. I said, "This is, Alan." He came and he was telling me about one of the buildings. Like, we need to patch this, the soffit, this and that, and telling him like stuff. And I guess being me, I'm trying to do my stuff, but I'm like, okay, man. I'm waiting to have to go tell him like, hey man, that's the wrong way it is. And I kept looking, and it was like, man, there ain't nothing I can tell. He's doing it right, and it was just felt good.
It felt good. Hey, did you ever ride a cart at Cartplex?
I didn't, but just because we went down there to ride them, and we took the kids down there, and I knew I was gonna have to bring my helmet, my motorcycle helmet, because I think they got a 2XL, but it won't fit me. So we got down there and I didn't have my helmet.
All right, so the only thing lacking is that we gotta get a helmet. So you haven't done the go-kart ride yet. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, but I'm
But you
going.
got the help.
Well, I talked to Jeffrey. He calls me every once in a while.
All right.
Ask me stuff down there, and I gotta go back. I gotta go back there and do a couple more things. But I was gonna take my wife because she wants to get on too, and
All right.
we're gonna go down there and get them. I was kind of waiting for the weather to get better, but yeah, he's got one down there for me. It's called what does he call it? It's the Bigfoot. So it's one that's made for bigger people, and that's the first thing I told him. I said, man, I just hate going to these places because I don't fit in the carts and everything.
But he's got one for you.
Oh yeah.
All right, I think we may have an idea of what we're going to do for your 25-year anniversary gift then.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I would enjoy that. But yeah, I guess all in all, like 25 years, it's gone by fast, and it's been a great learning experience, and everything I learned here, you can apply it to everything else.
We can.
So yeah, it's great.
Well,
And I guess how did he say it? Like you know how good you are on your worst days, I guess. So I mean, we have our bad days. They're not really all that bad.
they're not that. Our bad days not really that bad.
So yeah, I try to look at the good side of everything. And, I mean, I don't know what happened to me today, but usually I don't get emotional.
I like
They
it.
don't.
Yeah,
they don't
that's
come
good.
out.
I like it.
And like sometimes I think some of the younger guys, I try not to look like I'm like hovering over them and being bossy and everything. I like to start out by like, hey, what are you doing? Or like I take some people to go work on something and I say, okay, what would you do? Because I just want to pick their brain and see how it works. And so I get them to try to tell me, and instead of, I don't like being told what to do. I like, just, give me what you need and let me do it. So that's one thing about me and Gary too, is we, like there's math problems and you can get the same answer, but there's different ways to get it. And he was always getting it the opposite way of what I'm getting it, and it was frustrating. But like I said, a lot of these younger guys, like I said, Trace and some of the other ones we got there, Nick, they're just outgoing, and I see all these other kids at these other places that start, and they just bad attitudes. It's just,
Well, we got some good attitudes. Well, Steve, I want to just take this opportunity to say, words can't express how grateful and proud you've been with 25 years. And it's not an accident that you got the first Gary Grisham Service Award, where you model the best of our passion, caring, hustle, and detail. And it's an honor to work with you. And I'm grateful.
I'm grateful for the opportunity, and like I said, I think he asked me one time how long I was going to be here, if I could step up and everything. I mean, I'm here till I can't do it no more.
It's going to be a while then. I ain't letting you go. You're not going to Arizona either. So you're going to be here a while. And I'm not going to let you die either. I'm going to keep you alive, and we got many more anniversaries to celebrate.
Like I said, it's easy with, like I said, all the people we got. It's just, man, you don't see that. Like I said, just the office people and everybody. It's it's just coming together like that. It's amazing.
Wow. Thank you, Big Steve. Thanks for coming on today. Thank you, Dow.
Thank you, Taylor.
And thank y'all for listening.